Welcome back to MBM Podcast, episode 7.
Let's go.
All right, today we got a big topic to talk about. A topic that, honestly, everybody that really discusses about or really goes through.
I hate school. He says, "Fuck school."
This is I'm struggling to even talk about it, but you know what? It's something that we all done. It's the type of education that we've been through, whether it be post-secondary, or, university, college, whatever it may be. And yeah, we're going to discuss about the pros and cons of going to post-secondary. And of course, we brought on a guest, somebody that's has his own experience about it too.
Absolutely.
we got Qashus.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate you having me on, man.
Thank you for
I'm
coming.
I'm blessed. This is nice. I'm on in camera and off camera.
And off camera, yeah.
That's a blessing. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
No. Thank you for coming. I think it'll be a good perspective for people to kind of understand it from your point of view as well, because now you have your own business, but you went through that streamline of actually going to post-secondary education and attaining that, credentials and everything. So you can play the devil's advocate and showing the pros and the cons, and whether it's actually some quote unquote, as Mukh would say, fuck school. There's no point of going to school. But you were like perfect guest for this, and it's gonna be an interesting conversation to say the least.
I like it. Well, I appreciate you having me on, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll get more in depth in regards to our own background of, if whoever went to school, what we did, But yeah, gosh, just I guess tell the audience,
your background is.
what your background's in for school.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, I went to school. I went to U of A. I got my biology degree, and then I realized it wasn't for me. Quickly. I spent a year, I told myself I'm going to spend a year working. I'm in the media space. So for those who don't know, I run a media company, video production, photography company. And, I never saw it as a business. I actually never saw it as a career path at the beginning. So when I went to school, I was like, okay, the first dream of any brown boy is NBA.
Yeah.
You gotta have the NBA dream.
100%.
I mean, I played ball since I was a kid, bro. I'd go outside playing all day. MJ jersey, Kobe jersey, that was me.
Yeah,
right.
I
So
feel you.
it was school was whatever, School was
It's like a chore.
It's part of the process, part of the process to get there. So then, obviously, long story short, that dream kind of quickly dwindled in university when I realized I was too small, not athletic, none of that. So I was like, okay, well, I love the creative space. I love videos. And at the time, when I was in university at the time, Fousey Tube, Lily Singh, Just Rain, all these guys just started blowing up on YouTube. And I was like, maybe let me try some of this.
Yeah.
So I ended up, and at the time I started rapping and making music. So it was okay, I'm going to school. The NBA dream is gone. It's all good. I'll go cry at home about it, but it's okay. I quickly pivoted and I was like, okay, let me still go to school and let me try this creative stuff. So, evenings and weekends I would take out the camera. I would rap and then make songs, and then I was like, what? I can't afford doing a music video. I just can't do it. I don't have the funds. Yeah. So it was like, okay, let me take my own camera. Let's get our own equipment, as anyone does when they don't have the money to do so. So, so as I would go through uni, once, every day, I'd just shoot videos, take photos for myself. And it was like, okay, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try the vlogs, I'm going to try the pranks. And I did that. Yeah. So I actually have a whole, old YouTube channel for my homies know. I got pranks on there. I got vlogs, skits, all this stuff. So I tried it all. And then one thing that actually kept me going was on Facebook. So Facebook was popping at the time. Facebook was popping. Can you believe that? That's how old I am, dog. Instagram wasn't even the platform. Yeah. So it was my one skit, the first skit I posted on Facebook got 22,000 views.
Damn.
300 comments, reshares on Facebook. And I was like, oh shit, this is.
I made it.
Yeah. I was like, bro, this is it. I was like, okay, so then I started exploring that route, and then I realized that I was like, I don't want to. I'm not a comedian. I don't want to. I was doing it for the likes. I was doing it for the views. It felt good because people were watching, because it was easy. It was easy content to make. And then, I continued that journey. And then throughout uni, people would ask me to do videos for them. Hey, it's my son's birthday party. Can you come take videos? Hey, we have an engagement. Can you come do this? And I was like, oh, I can make some side cash. It's a part-time hustle while I'm going to school. And so I still, throughout uni, I didn't know what I wanted to pursue afterwards. But I always loved the creative space. I always loved videos, and I always loved photos. So it was like, okay, finish uni, and now I'm at the crossroads. Now I have to make a decision. And, parents are pushing me to be like, well, this is it. This is another 4 years of school. Go to med school. Take a master's degree, right? Continue that pursuit. But in my heart, it wasn't aligning. I was like, all my homies, like biology, right? I have all homies that are going to come doctors, optometrists, nurses. They're going into that space. They already know. They've already applied for other schools. And then there's, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm thinking about med school, bro. Like, I'm thinking of, maybe optometry, bro. Right? I never really had the answer. In my heart, I was like, I'm probably not going to do this. But how do I make this decision? And then so I told myself, I'm like, I'm not going to make the mistake I made in high school going into uni, where I'll just jump in. Because as an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old kid, I didn't know what I wanted. And I was getting all these people telling me you should go into med school, biology, science. And that's the thing. You don't know, you just go into the science program. That's what you do.
In our field,
Us as brown guys?
Brown family. In that environment, that's the only street.
That's it. So it was like, okay, I'm going to go into sciences. But then I was like, I don't want to make that mistake again. I was like, okay, let me take a year. Let me see what I can do with this video stuff. I don't even know if there's a market here. And you know what? Like, if I can make some money from it, if I'm actually decent, then I'll like turn up the gas and see what I can do. So I spent a year working, and then at the same time I was still in the middle ground. I was I shadowed optometrists, I shadowed doctors. I actually went to their clinics. I messaged them, I'm like, hey, like, I'm thinking about this. I don't know if this is correct. I just want to see your day-to-day. So I go in to a clinic and I spent 4 hours with an optometrist. And I was like, I wanted to see their day-to-day, bro.
Oh, hell to
I was like, bro, this is cool, but I was like,
hell no.
Yeah, I was like, it's not for me. So I didn't get excited. I'll be honest, I didn't get excited. So I was like, oh man. So anyway, long story short, I was like, okay, I'll just continue working, and I couldn't find like a job. I didn't really know business. I didn't go to business school. So I'm freelancing. I'm making a couple $100 a month. And I'm still like, I'm working part-time for the city of St. Albert. I'm mowing lawns, bro. Mowing lawns. And man, like, that's a labor job. You wake up at 6 a.m.
Oh, man.
You get to the shed at 6:30. You meet with your team, and it's like, okay, you're gonna go to this part of town. That's your part of the town, bro. That's your part. You run this, bro. You run this town. You cut as much grass as you can in 8 hours, bro. So all of us had a little corner of the town, and I would just and man, like, imagine I have a biology degree. I feel like
I'm out here cutting grass.
So I'm spending all this time, and I'm like, man, like, I'm at rock bottom. I'm in debt in school. I don't know where my path is. I don't know what I'm doing. All my homies know what they're gonna do. I have this passion for videos and media and acting and doing all this content, everything. And I'm like, it's, I don't know what I'm doing here. And man, I had probably one of the lowest points of my life was like, I was just sitting there like, man, I'm making $15 an hour, 8 hours a day cutting grass, and I have a degree, and it's not helping. Like, it's not even getting me jobs. I would send resumes to like labs and stuff. They wouldn't take me. Anyway, so it was like, okay, if I'm really going to pursue this, I have to go to like a big city. So obviously I'm thinking Cali. I'm like, LA. What do people
Sunshine.
do? What do people do when they,
that's true though.
Like, okay, like if I'm really going to pursue this video production shit, I got to go to the big
leagues.
The big markets.
So that's, of course, everybody thinks about that. So I had a friend there that lived in LA, like a family friend. And he's like, hey, Omid, like, if you want, I have a bedroom for you. You can come crash for 3-6 months, whatever you want, and you can figure out your life here. And I was like, oh shit, okay, this is the moment, right? This is okay. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So the end of this 12 months like comes around, like a year of working, and like I'm there again. I'm like, I have made no progress. I've made zero progress. I've been freelancing, doing little videos here and there. Yeah, I have a ton of experience. Like now I've done like real estate videos and wedding videos and commercials and all. I've done all the stuff I can in Edmonton. Yeah. But I'm not making bank, bro. I'm not making the bread that I'm thinking I'm supposed to make. We're supposed to be like, I'm supposed to be buying my mom houses and cars and stuff at this time. I'm like, I didn't make it. 25, 24, 25. I'm like, man, like, okay, I got to make a move. And so, dude, literally that, like it was like 1 week there. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm just packing my bags. I'm just gonna tell my parents. I don't know how I'm gonna tell my parents, but I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna go to Cali to see a friend, but I'm gonna be there for a couple of months,
Get your shit, yeah.
So yeah, they were like, what are you doing, bro? Like they're like, couple of months. Who is this friend? Is it a lady? Like who? Like
The guy excited.
Yeah.
You get married? That's good.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, like I got to make this move. And I had been sending resumes out to like marketing agencies and stuff at the time. And then that week, literally packing my bags, almost booked my flight. And I got a call from this marketing agency, and it was like, hey, like, want to come in for an interview for a video production position. And I was like, bro, like I went to a bunch of interviews. I don't know if this is going to pan out.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever, like it doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. Exactly. It costs you.
Let's go see what this is about. I don't even know if this is going to be a thing, right? So I ended up going, and it was a startup company, a startup marketing agency, and they wanted someone to do their videos for them. And the guy's like, I like your portfolio. I think I think you can do this. You want to start Saturday? And this was Friday.
Damn.
It was like Friday, and he's like, do you want to start tomorrow? Like, come to the office. We'll like get you set up.
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh. So I call my buddy up.
You go, baby?
Yeah. So I call my buddy up, and I'm like, hey, bro, like, I know I was planning to come, but change of plans, bro. Like, I think I'm gonna stay here because I got a gig. I need to pay off this debt, like, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, long story short, ended up working for that agency for 2.5 years, and I gained a ton of like corporate. Now this is like knowledge. Like, okay, I did in that 2 years, I ended up doing a Super Bowl commercial for the Canadian Brew House.
No way.
Yeah. So ended up, it was the company got the gig, and it was like 15 seconds. You have to make two 15-second videos for the Canadian Brew House. It's going to be played at the Super Bowl 2018, 2019.
Wow.
And I was like, bro, I can't mess this shit up. I'm like, I told the guy who runs the company, I'm like, dude, you're putting a lot of faith in me, bro. Like, I don't think I'm there yet.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, like, you've done all this corporate stuff. Like, you're ready. Like, all you have to do is be the director. Director Q. You know, I was like, oh shit, like, I'm not on the camera, I'm directing. Yeah. So I have to get the camera crew. I got to get the actors, all this.
Yeah.
This was the first time I've ever done that. Like a big project. This was $100,000. All the fucking brew house board members, they're all flying in, bro, to come check out the shoot. And I'm like sitting there, I'm sweating. I'm like, dude, you're putting a lot of faith in me. Yeah. And he's like, dude, this is gonna be a growing pain, but you can do it. So long story short, got about 40 or 50 actors messaging on Facebook groups on Facebook, like Edmonton actor groups and stuff like that.
Let's pull up.
Yeah, I was like, okay, like we have a budget, which is great. We can pay these people, so this is good. So ended up doing that. Got a camera crew, like a professional camera crew, guys that were in the game for a long time, and we pulled it off. And it was like a couple overnight shoots at one of the brew house locations, and we spent the entire night like getting the brew house all set up, and I'm like walking around like, and people are looking at me like, okay, he's the boss, he's the one telling people what to do, and I'm orchestrating it. And I'm 26, and I'm like, and all these people, all the brew house people, they're all older, right?
Yeah.
So they're like looking
old heads,
right? They're like, but luckily, I picked the right crew, and we ended up pulling it off, and that was like a big deal. And then once that happened, I was like, okay.
You saw the potential.
I was like, okay, I could do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like before it was like, I don't know if I belong in this. Like, I don't know if this is me. But after I pulled that big, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe I can run my own company now. Maybe I can run this shit.
Yeah, make an actual
and do an actual business.
As business, 100%.
Business, yeah.
And it's the one thing that you talked about was just not knowing. It's like that mainstream in our culture, like tying it back to our culture. It's like the main issue is that creative side gets lost, especially imagine you're at 18, as we said. We're 18.
Yeah.
We're coming into a whole different ballgame now. We're jumping into an actual picking a career which has consequences, which is what? Tuitions. They're not cheap, especially nowadays. On average, it can vary from 6 to 20,000, depending on which faculty you're going into. So now take that in. At that young age, and only thing in our culture is what inbred in our head, as you said, sciences, business, become a lawyer. That's it. So now that critical thinking aspect from like the creative aspect as an individual gets taken away because they don't even see the value on the other side. Yeah. Like imagine if this was pushed on in our culture at an early age, but like being in a digital marketing space or whatever it may be can actually become a career. Imagine if like you're like, oh, if it can be, I'm like, I already enjoy doing this. Imagine you at 18, but like, I already enjoy doing this stuff. Now my parents are with it. I can actually make a full career of it. Because the thing is, back in the day, it's like our parents don't even like think it can hold any value to be like provide monetary value. Because that's the only thing they look at. At that age, when we're looking at which field you want to go to, what monetary value does it provide? What financial stability will it provide for you future? And rightfully so, they have that, as we said, spoke about it before, the struggle to put us here. So it's not easy for it to differentiate, be like, oh, just do whatever, like going to this, not knowing what that even means. So I get that, but now we're at a point where like, we still don't see that though.
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
We're in 2023 and like, still frowned upon thinking about it if some kid told at age 19, 20, be like, hey dad, I don't want to be an engineer.
Yeah.
They think you're wasting your time. They think you're wasting your time because, oh, he video on that, or he's sitting in front of a computer all day. But like, gosh, nahi banna tera. And that mentality is so bad for our culture, man. Like, we need to stray away from that and own it from experience. Like, look at his journey. Went from biology to now having his own, digital marketing company, social media and everything. That actual business that provided him stability, allowed him to pursue whatever he wants to do. And the greatest thing he probably got from it was networking. Oh, yeah. Imagine how many people you have connected. Now you said at 26, you were in a room with CEOs, different members that hold some sort of power at different levels. Take that in. That's imagine if you just imagine if you pursued your master. You would have been in a classroom, but like, damn, why am I here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we need to be normalizing more. So, it's people need to just step out of the comfort zone and take initiative, as you said, like just go for it, man. It's the judgment's always gonna be cast, whether it's your parents, relatives. Man, don't give a fuck about it.
Well, I want to add to that because I did get judgment from my parents. Like, my dad was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
He was really mad. Like, he was like, yo, why aren't you going to school? Why are you running around with a camera? That's exactly what he told me, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly what he said. Yeah. I remember. And it was like I had to internally just I had to take it. I wouldn't argue with him. Yeah. So I looked at like, I have a plan. Yeah. I know you don't understand it, but I have something here. I had to, so I was working with the agency, the marketing agency, and my dad still didn't understand what I did. And every time I'd come home, he'd be like, oh, you're running around with the video camera again, right? You're doing the video thing again. And I was like, okay. And you know what I did? I was like, Dad, let's go for a drive. He's like, where are we going? I'm like, don't worry about it. Let's go for a drive. Maybe we'll grab some, lunch on the way.
Yeah.
And I took him to the marketing agency. I took him to my office.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a big office at the time. It was relatively small. Yeah. But I took him and I was like, hey, like, there's nobody here. It's empty. It's like an empty office. I was like, hey, this is where I work. This is my chair. This is my computer desk. I do videos here. Here's the backdrop here. Oh, in this room, here's all the graphic designers. Here's where the boss. This is an advertising. Yeah. I had to literally spoon feed and break it down and say, this is an advertising agency. they work with other businesses to advertise. And I do their videos for them. You know the videos you see on Facebook? You're on Facebook, Dad. I know you watch videos, man.
I did that shit.
Bro, you watch the cat videos all the time, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
weirdest thing you watch. I'm telling you, man.
I'm like, those. I was like, you know the chupples that are advertised to you.
This is where they're made.
I'm like, I'm one of those guys who makes the videos that come on this shit. Yeah. So I had to explain it to him and say, I'm making okay money here. Like I'm making money. And I'm not zero.
Yeah.
And I spend 9 to 6 p.m. here. Sometimes 10. Sometimes I'm here till 10 p.m. You don't know where I'm at. You maybe think I'm running around with the camera, doing some weird shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm here working with business owners and business clients.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, okay. Like he understood, but he was still like kind of like, whatever. Like
That was going to be like that, though.
Yeah. And then after that, I bought my first home. That year. I bought my first home. And then I was like, hey, let's go for a drive, Dad. Go to the drive. He's like, what is this? I was like, give him the keys. I was like, this is a house I bought with a friend. It's an investment property. I bought this with the videos that I make.
The one that
I had to keep
the camera.
the one that you keep bullying me at home. The one that you keep making me feel bad. The creative stuff that I'm doing in the basement when I'm editing videos all night, when I'm editing photos all night, when I'm making the music downstairs. It's working. I just want to know. I just want to let you know that this is from that. I had to make the connection. Like, oh, he is trying to build his life. Not, oh, I don't know, my son is a wacko for doing videos. Again, he doesn't know, bro. Like, and so I had to literally sit him down and take him there. And then once that, he started to like be like, okay, he's all right. He started getting off my back, and then he started going after my siblings. So it's all good. It's all good.
No, that's very bad. No, that's a beautifully explain how to go about pursuing your passion, man. Show them. A lot of people that do want to pursue certain things, they stray away from like the responsibility. But like, it's our responsibility at the end of the day. You show them what you're capable of. You take them to your workplace. You show them like, Dad, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And how they perceive it, how they take it, it's on them. You know, at the end of the day, that's your passion, that's your dreams, and that's what you want to do. You can't live life always be like, damn, like I was gonna please my dad and do this. You're never gonna live up to the expectation because their expectations are unrealistic of you.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, sometimes they push you, but like 9 out of 10 times it's just you getting compared to people around you.
Yeah.
But like, yo, look at his son. He's a doctor. He's a multimillionaire. This, that. I'm like, man, I don't care. I ain't him. I'm not him.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with my life?
Oh, bro, the amount of times I get, because I had older cousins and I grew up with my older cousins. Like they're few years older than me, somewhere my age. Yeah. Guess what they're doing, bro? They're getting houses. They're getting cars. They have their job ready. They got their wives. Like you see all these are the life script happening. Yeah. Things are happening in their life physically.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's coming out into manifestation. Oh shit, This guy bought a house. Oh shit, he bought a new car. Oh, did you see your cousin? Oh, you did. Oh, so and so. Oh, you know, it was like every time it was like the question is not did you see him do it? The question is what the fuck are you doing? That's the indirect. Oh, did you see? Oh, so and so bought a house.
They're toxic, man.
Like
toxic.
And it's like, and then there's a silent pause. I'm like, oh yeah, good for them. Like, great, my cousins are doing well for themselves, and they're a couple of years ahead of me. So I don't have the business. I don't have the credentials behind me. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. But you know what I told myself? I was like, it's coming. As long as every day, I'm pushing as hard as I can to make this shit work.
Yeah.
If I'm not waking up and doing my job to push for this creative stuff, to push to get this job, to push to do XYZ, the podcast came from that.
Yep.
The second floor podcast, the mentality to get to the next level. Guess what? I had nothing at that time. Yeah. I just started with the agency. I didn't have the cameras. I didn't have the office. Bro, our office, the office that I was in, the heat wouldn't work half the time. I swear to God, we had little heaters on the side by our desks, bro. And I'm not saying that to make it sound like dramatic. It was true.
No, yeah.
It was true.
It's a factual thing.
Yeah, and I remember it was like, man, like how am I going to build this podcast? How am I going to do like how do I do this? Anyway, so that was the idea is like as you said, Amrit is like as long as you're putting in that work, as long as you truly believe that you are like following the path that the frequency in you.
Yeah.
If the frequency is aligned in you, then continue to push for that. If it's not, you're in the wrong area. I have had a lot of friends that are in med now. They just finished med school, and now they're having midlife crisis.
Yeah.
They're 29, 30.
Hey,
Right? They're-
early 30s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're having that crisis, and we're like, oh shit, like, oh, Oma's doing this podcast. This sounds interesting. Or so-and-so's doing this. Oh, maybe
Yeah.
I'll do it. But bro, you just spent 10 years in school.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Now, if you know, I have a friend that since he was a kid, since he was like in his teens, he's interested in med.
He
He genuinely,
Genuinely.
bro, he's in it. He's in New York right now. Shout out to Ovi. If Ovi's watching this,
You better watch this.
you better watch this, man. Better hit that subscribe button. MBM podcast, right?
Yeah.
So, but he's always been in it. His path was never a question. He was always like, yeah, I think I'm going to do something in med. And guess what? He's taken the streamlined path, and it's working for him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in it, and he's going to be a really good fucking doctor. But not all of us are like that. Not all of us have that path. But your job as an individual, as a young brown dude or girl or guy, you are supposed to constantly pursue what
speaks to you.
What speaks to you. You have to find that. If you can't find that, if you don't know what it is right now, you got to find it. You got to push for it. And if you don't push for it, you're going to be 30 and you're going to be like, damn, what the hell did I do?
Yeah.
I just took the easy route and just sat in school because my uncle told me, my cousin told me, my friends told me this was the right path. But one day it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. It's going to come back and say, shit, man, I really had this business idea that I didn't try to push for.
Yeah.
I had this podcast idea, but man, it's all good. Like
super
it's probably too saturated
Too
of a
stupid.
market.
Yeah,
Yeah. But if you just push for that, bro, you continuously push for that, and as long as it's aligning with you, you'll be okay.
Yeah. And I think one thing that Mukh, I want to ask is
guy starts
you know how
laughing.
the reason why I say that is the outlook and the perception we have what school means, it has changed drastically over the period of time, especially now with social media being such a huge influence in what we do on a day-to-day lives. Because, I think Mukh can speak more to why he, to a certain extent, I don't want to say resented, but he doesn't seem, he's not for, going into post-secondary education be like something that's needed for you to be successful in a certain field. But, you do need it, but I want to hear your opinion on that.
No, I would say it's more, it depends on the type of field, right? Like what we were just talking about right now. Like there's some people who, since their early teens, they've pictured themselves in, becoming a doctor, becoming an engineer.
Yeah.
If that's what your true passion is, by all means go for it. And if the way to achieve that goal is going through post-secondary, if that's one of the requirements, by all means.
Yeah.
Right? So my thing is I wouldn't say I'll go more to detail about it, but I'm not totally against post-secondary.
Yeah.
It's just,
That's a lie.
but it's just for myself example, right? Like when I got into university, my goal was to become an architect.
Yeah.
Right? First year was a fucking shit show. I was in sciences. I had a GPA of 0.5.
My man, how? How?
I don't even know how I even stayed in school, but I was like, you know what? Things are still going. I'm still here. Might as
I'm
well
still
roll.
moving.
I don't know where I'm going to get with this, but let's keep on going. Then I transferred into business for second year, and that's when it bumped up to a 3.7, all that sort.
Yeah.
But one thing I noticed just over time, and we'll get more into details about this, like the curriculum and all that sort, is that one thing I noticed is every time that I took a class, it seemed like it was a repetitive from the previous class itself. So if I did a 200 level class for business, negotiation,
You're milking it.
right? Next 300 is the same thing. It's just in different words. And I'm just sleeping there in class. I was at one point, I was so bored to the point where I used the freaking paper that I wrote in my 211 class for my 300 class. I was like, this is really risking it a lot, but let me see. And of course, I got a 90 on
Let me
that.
just change a couple things. So we're good.
But so what I'm trying to say is like, of course, it depends on what you're trying to pursue. For me, I didn't know what I wanted to do because afterwards I found out that being an architect is very stressful, it's very competitive. After that, I didn't really know what I really wanted to do. And then I just got into, what I like to do. I trained athletes. I played a lot of sports. I was like, okay, let me see where I can get with this, right? That's when I ventured into my first business, the King's Order. And one thing I noticed comparing the two, what I was learning at school compared to what I was running the business, the amount of stuff that I was learning in my business was outweighed everything that I learned in school. And I think the reason why for that is just because I had so much in control of what I wanted to learn rather than being forced to what I want to learn, right? So, and because of that, of course, like learn from mistakes, it's just repivoting again. And then like, okay, like this is how you sell a product. This is how you market a product. And it was a physical thing that I created too, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I see joy from it instead of education where I'm at school, I'm just like, half-ass tired. I'm like at 6 a.m. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? And then I'm just like, I have this paper due the next day, and I'm like, okay, let me just fucking scribble, write whatever I want, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get back to the business.
Yeah, no, that's the thing though too. Like, I went to a business. I took 4 years, graduated from an accounting background. See, the thing is like, with school, I don't know. It's not even. Who do you fault? You fault the curriculum, teachers? Like, I don't know. There's no right answer to it. There's no like, oh yeah, this is it. You can't pinpoint it. The thing is like the stuff that you do learn in school, I'm not saying like it's completely has no bearing in helping you in a business setting in the future. It does, man. The thing is like, as Mukh said, we see school as a chore. And that's the underlying issue with school right now. Because like we see it as something like, imagine when we graduate, you know how like those people throw papers and then they're like, we're done and over with, like after high school? There's something wrong with that. Students should be that delighted to throw all the paper out, be like, man, we're done. It's like getting a chore done. Hey, like, let's go, I'm done. Yeah. And that's the issue though. It's like, we do learn, like I learned how to read, balance sheets, financial statements, and people are like, oh, they're not important to read. I'm like, yes, they are. Yes, they are. If I were to present a balance sheet and someone who never read it, he's gonna be like, oh, this seems like a business model, good business model. Yeah. It could not be even profitable at all. So this whole notion of like, look at it from a different perspective. Like, it does have advantages going to school because now you are learning those things, but you're learning it in a manner where you don't enjoy it. And that's what it comes down to. And Mukh said, like, man, I just got to do this shit and get it over with. And that's that. I think that's the notion. I was like, we have to change certain things in the curriculum where it's more practical work involved, whether it's, having local businesses partner up with the universities. Hey, like, we want to work with you guys in showing a day-to-day business and alongside the practical work and show that paperwork side, which we quote unquote find boring, which is we're learning. Now, when you integrate those two, they're like, then people can really look back and like, oh, I do enjoy doing this stuff. I could see myself as one of those business people that came in and showed us the way, but we didn't have any of that. Mm-hmm. The only real life things they showed us was what? An example that it's in the textbook. They're like, it's a real life example. How is it? Yeah. I get what you're saying, but it doesn't speak any volume to us because we can't see it. We just see it on paper. We're like, yeah, that's cool. But imagine the impact it would have on someone when now you're actually seeing it in real life practice of a real business that's operating in real time and changing. Imagine the impact that would have on someone like me. But like, I see myself in that business setting of that person who's running a business. Yeah. Imagine the impact that takes, Mm-hmm. So I think it's just the whole perception of what school is just slowly changing over a period of time, and what is making people stray away from it. They're like, there's no point to it. Because like so many business owners, they're like, they don't go to school. And quote unquote, who are they? They're a couple people that are really successful. It's like 10 people that are like billionaires, like Elon and all these people. They're like, well, I dropped out of school. They make up 0.00000 of the population, and everybody wants to run with that. They're like, look, they didn't go to school. Yeah. Okay. And So yeah, I think it's like an overall system that's in place that makes people kind of almost hate studying. And now it's like this whole social media, the access to easy money, especially when it comes to like, for girls, OnlyFans, for guys like going to drugs and stuff. Like it's easy money, it's attractive. They're like, why would I go get into debt? And like my friend, he went to med school, Jazz, and you know how you alluded to your friend. My friend, he loves genuinely working at a hospital. He's like, Amrit, I see myself going through another 4 years, but he's like, I enjoy doing this. Mm-hmm. He's like, the financial stability will come. He's like, once I graduate and all that, once I get my credentials and everything, he's like, I will be making past cleared $500K to $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big amount. But yeah, at the end of the day, you forego the cost of from your 20s to your 31, 34, 33, you're in school.
Yeah,
that's a determination, man. That's no joke. That's not built for everybody.
No.
And people that have the false reality of not knowing what they want and they go into masters because they have to, that's when they have midlife crisis because they don't even know what their real purpose is. The real purpose is, oh, my dad told me to do this. Without this, I'm nothing. Or my mom told me, or my relatives told me. I have to get this because my cousin, look at him. Mm-hmm. He's 34, 35. He has a car. He has a kid. He has a wife. He has a stability. That's where, it's, you really got to find what you really like doing. And then that will translate into, pursuing things that you genuinely like and not hating school. It's easy to point fingers. I hate school.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure. I think just going off that point too is like, in business, you got to learn. Yeah. So how are you going to learn? Yeah. Is it through school or is it going to be through practical work? Is it going to be through like, how are you going to do that? Okay, if you don't go to school, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Where are you going to get that knowledge? Because what's the difference between someone that makes $2,000 a month and someone that makes 20?
Yep.
There's a knowledge barrier.
Yep.
There's a system barrier. There's a process barrier. Yep. That's all it is.
Yep.
Business is a system, systems and processes.
Yep.
It's sales and marketing. You have sales, you have money coming in, money coming out. Money coming in, okay, market, you get bigger, the circle gets bigger, you get bigger, bigger, bigger. All of a sudden you're, 500,000 revenue, $1 million revenue, right? Yeah. It's just systems and scaling off that system. But as a young 19-year-old coming out of high school, what the hell do you know about systems, processes, back-end stuff? You might really like fitness, right? You might really like fitness and you want to be the bodybuilders that sell programs and are fitness influencers and blah, blah, blah. There's still work involved. There's still process involved. There's still marketing involved. There's still a business behind that.
Yeah. Where do you attain that knowledge?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is like, okay, if it's not school because you find papers boring and you find going to class boring, right? You might be in these financial economics classes and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. If you find that boring, where are you going to get that knowledge? And the dangerous part of social media is that there's guys out there that are saying, oh, sign up for my 60-day program and you'll make $6,000 a day.
$100,000
how I made $100 a day or $1,000 a day. It's like, it's
crazy.
Great, like sounds fantastic, but they're just reeling you in with their marketing. Yeah. That's their marketing videos.
Yeah.
So they're slowly putting you into their system. They're selling you a course, bro. You just got sold, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the idea is not to, and I'm not saying courses are bad. I'm not saying workshops are bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's genuine.
There are some genuine people that do want to do good work.
Exactly.
There is.
Exactly.
But it's like balancing it out. It's like you want to go to a person that sold you a dream, getting $10,000 in a month in the first 6 months, compared to a guy who's in school. These professors have credentials behind them.
Yeah.
They've been through different fields. They work with organizations. They work with corporations to get to that level of actually giving out that knowledge to other individuals, which is students, So it's but at the end of the day, as you said, social media is like chasing that shiny object.
Yeah,
that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, and that's, to me, is like, we need more entrepreneurs.
We do.
And actually, in fact, the BDC is a Canadian forum said that we actually are like, I believe we're 20% less entrepreneurs in Canada.
In Canada,
So I think it was like 20%, something like that.
Compared to the other markets, like a bigger markets, like US and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, But then you go on social media and it's like entrepreneur in the bios, bro,
Everybody's
right?
an
Everybody's an entrepreneur. I'm like, what? Everybody's an entrepreneur. This number should
Like,
be
what
up.
are you talking about? Yeah.
Right? And so I highly encourage like, you know, guys, girls our age to pursue any sort of business dreams that they have. But you got to understand that it's going to be, you got to learn from somewhere.
Yeah.
And you got to get that knowledge from somewhere, and you got to work and make those mistakes. If you're not going to go to school and learn the theory, then you're going to go out in the work world and learn the practical hard way. You're going to scrape your knees and fall on your face multiple times before you, oh, that's how you do my accounting? Oh, my taxes? Oh, my financial statements?
That's the thing?
Nobody taught me that.
Yeah, nobody taught me that, yeah.
You know, and then you learn. You like, I had to do the same thing. I didn't go to business school. And I'm sitting in these meetings with these executives, bro. And I'm sounding like I'm trying to sell myself. And man, I embarrassed myself multiple times. Because I didn't know how to speak the lingo. I didn't know that there were proposals. And I didn't know that there were things you got to show. And yeah, I had a little portfolio of videos and I thought I was a shit. No, it's not that. It's all this back end stuff. But every time I sit in those meetings, it was like, oh, okay, I missed that client. Okay, this is why. Okay. I have to make a proposal? He's asking for an estimate, but I just sent him a number. I was supposed to make this custom proposal, make it look nice, logo, branded, you know, all this stuff. Oh, okay. That's how you do it. Oh, that's how you send this email? You know, some clients were savage, bro. They're like, hey, Omid, like I've never heard this. This is not professional. This is, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then slowly, of course, you learn, you know, where you're headed. But if you're not constantly pursuing that some way, shape, or form, man, I wish now I think about it, I was like, I wish I went to get my, you know, MBA. Maybe I should have went and took 4 years of business. Maybe it would have helped me today. But that wasn't my path. I took 4 years of bio, and then it was like, okay, I got to get off the ground running somehow. And then, you know, so.
No, that's true. And that's the thing though too, man. I encourage people, you know, I'm not saying school is all like, yeah, it's perfect. Obviously there's disadvantages to people that are going through struggles and having to have that burden of high tuitions. Man, it's not easy getting out of school where now you're in this debt. But understand, you can skip so many steps. For example, what Omid related to. Imagine you understand your purpose and you're not just a free loafer. You're like, fuck it, it is what it is. I'm just going through life as it is. Now, if you understand what you really want to do at an early age and you're like, okay, how do I attain this knowledge where I can skip a certain step? If I learned something now compared to something I would have learned in 2 years from now, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you put yourself in a place where you can learn this now and not have this notion of like, nah, education doesn't mean anything, it's a scam? Why not put yourself through it now and understand the logistic aspect of your business? Guess what? That 2 years down the ladder, be like, I already know this. Now you're so far advanced into your career knowing everything compared to you have this notion of like, nah, this doesn't have any meaning to it. I'm just wasting my time. I'm wasting my resources. But like, okay, where else are you getting this information from? A guy who's sitting across a camera like me selling you a course that's $60 a month. And that's what it is though. But social media has such a stronghold on the audience these days, man. People can sit there for 2-3 hours just scrolling.
No, for sure.
Bro, like it's actually scary to see it in practice. A lot of like the younger, even like, you know, our age, man, that's scrolling. And guess what? The more they do it, the more the message from the people sitting across the camera resonates to them. Because reason why? They know what that person is doing sitting across from the camera, which is what's scrolling through. They're like, oh, do you feel lost in life? Oh, do you feel you don't feel wanted? They empathize with you. It's like psychology 101, you know? It's like they know what you're going through. Now they're like, oh, he knows what I'm talking about. You know? And then guess what? Fuck it, it's $60 an hour, $60 a month doesn't hurt me. Let me just see what it is. But at the end of the day, it's like you gotta understand they built a model to prey on people like yourself that don't want to do shit. They want the easy way out. But like, oh, why would I pay $1,000 at a university? I can get $60 a month from here.
Yeah, bro. It's the same as those fitness programs. Get six-pack in 6 weeks, bro. You know,
sign me up.
You know,
I need that.
You guys know six-pack shortcuts on YouTube. Mike Chang, that Asian guy, big Asian guy, six-pack, his whole thing, bro. Yeah, he's got like 20 million followers on YouTube, bro. Why, bro? Because everybody wants abs. Okay,
They want the easy way.
six pack in six whatever. It's like shortcuts, 6-pack shortcuts. Why is that so popular?
Yeah.
It's on that. It's feeding that desperation.
Yup,
But
exactly.
we all know, bro, it's tough
Put
to
in
have
the
that
work.
6-pack, bro. You need to eat right. You need to work out for 6, 8, 10 months straight before you see anything.
Yup.
But why would I spend a year, 2 years and do that when I could just follow 6-pack shortcuts and get it in 2 months, bro?
Yeah, get that little machine that they have, that stimulates your abs. It's like, we'll get you ripped. Like, hey, go do shit.
Bro, all the uncles and aunties have that, bro. I know my aunts had that. My aunts bought the machine and they're sitting there on the couch with
It's just vibrating.
It's vibrating, bro.
Yo, it's true though, man. They think this is actually works. It's probably doing more harm than anything. Your organs inside, like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yo, straight up.
But those people who sell that shit, man, they're caking it though.
But they know, man. They feed off. They're preying on the weak. That's what
Yeah,
it really
it
is.
is.
They're preying off the
It's
weak.
crazy
bro.
like how they market it, like how they have this little machine and it could be like, quick, $4 you can get these abs and shit like that. Like, bro, they're taking it. Like the guy that you're talking to, he's 20 million views. Imagine how much money he's like if he's selling that shit for like $15.
Oh yeah,
Imagine how much he's making that shit.
easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
no,
Crazy.
100. That's all it is, man. It's like put something down, and because they know people struggle with that.
Yeah.
Okay, how can I market myself into building a business model around that?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's just like people are hypocrites. They'll deem something as a negative thing, and guess what? They're promoting the exact same thing that they're speaking out against.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me that people fall for this stuff. But I don't blame them. It's just nowadays we're more lost with ourselves than anything, more than anything else. I think we're just lost at what we want to do, what life means. We're pursuing pointless careers and relationships at young, early age. I'm a big advocate on not pursuing relationships at an early age. Like, there's some people like, I found my soulmate at 19, 20. I'm like, hey, good for you. Yeah. There's been studies proven where you don't actually develop your brains when it comes to like male, like until like your front cortex of your lobe, like until like 25 as men, and women as 23, 25. And people that get in relationships nowadays, it's like a normalized thing. Like, like post this man social media. Oh my God, we look so cute. There. Have you seen that? I don't give a fuck. Don't be pursuing relationships at a young, early age, man. There's no point. You lose out on self-development on such a huge aspect. If you don't even understand your own emotional side as an own person, now you put another person into it. Now you're dependent on how their emotion is. Like, damn, is she okay or is he okay? But like, oh shit. Like, I can't do this, I can't do that. Man, fuck all that. Don't go in a relationship at an early age, man. Go get educated. Don't be out here sitting and you can't put two sentences together because you're saying fuck school. Yeah, fuck school. Look where I got you.
Yeah.
So I think people gotta understand, like, going to school is not a bad thing. Stop sitting on social media thinking you're gonna buy this program for $60 a month. Some of them, it might work, man. It might work. I'm not gonna denounce every single one, but like, then I'll go for it might work. But go to school.
Yeah, well, I think talking about the courses aspect, I've taken a lot of courses. I haven't taken like programs and whatnot, but I've taken a lot of courses. I've done my fair share of YouTube search. Yeah. And one thing that I realize is that you see a pattern, especially with the business stuff, right? There's a motivational aspect to it, right? There's the emotional aspect to it.
Yeah.
So learning the emotions and learning the vision and the purpose and all that.
Yeah.
You might need the motivation because you don't know where you're headed and what you're doing. So you watch the Gary Vee motivational keynotes, bro. Shout out OG Gary Vee, right? But talking about happiness and this and that, right? Okay, at a certain period of time, you might need that, right? When I was mowing lawns in the city of St. Albert, I needed that. I needed Gary Vee in my ear to say, "Fuck, keep going," right? After that, now I'm seasoned in the game, right? I know a little bit about business. I know a little bit about my industry. I don't need Gary Vee, but what I need is better systems and processes. Things that are actually going to impact for me to scale to the next level. Gary Vee's not going to give me that. He's not going to give me operational systems. He's not going to give me the ins and outs, the admin stuff, and like how to tweak this, how to tweak that. I need somebody in the game. So I'm going to continue to pursue someone who might have a course or a program, or potentially someone in my network that I can pay that would be able to help me with that.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing to pursue these things, but you gotta know as a young person to be aware of this Dropbox shipping bullshit, the drop shipping $1,000 a day. Yeah. Be careful with that, because it's easy. It's easy to prey on. The shortcut, there is no shortcut.
No.
You're gonna learn somewhere, but it's gonna be a long way. And that course, that $60 course might have a piece of what you need, but it's not going to give you the entire answer. That's what I realized. I've went to workshops. I've taken courses that are $1,500, $2,000, $5,000. Guess what? I've known 80% of all the business stuff in that. But guess what? That last 20% was like, oh shit, he does it this way. Yeah. I didn't think about the business this way. Okay, let me implement that system. Yeah. Oh, I was marketing this way. I thought it was supposed to be like this. YouTube, the free videos on YouTube said it was like this. Oh, he's using this, or he's using this software or this website. Oh, okay, that little piece was worth the $1,500. Yep. That little piece was worth the $2,000. But I spent $2,000 to just get that one jigsaw piece puzzle for the puzzle. For the puzzle. So that's what I would say. It's not going to give you the end all be all, but it might give you that piece, one piece of the entire puzzle.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No. I was just gonna say, like, I mean, if you are in school, I would say that, okay, this is a different perspective of it. But like, let's say if you are pursuing something that is outside, right, and you're not really invested in like type of courses or whatever you're doing in school, I think it's just also changing your mindset of the material that you're absorbing in class as well. I think though, when you're in class, you're just thinking that it's just for purpose of the degree itself. But I think is that if you're taking a business and there's some sort of material within the course load that kind of relates to whatever you're doing, a problem that you're facing within your business, I think you need to keep an open mind that if this is something that resolves something, a problem that's going on outside of school, take that in and pay attention to it. Because you just never know, it might save, honestly, you might not have to take an additional course for it. Yeah. It's something that you're already paying for that's already resolving an issue, and and it resolves your problem for the day, right? So I think though, like, it's also, this is the one thing I noticed when I was in school, is that I was paying so much attention that this is involving my degree, and this is something that I don't want to pursue. I'm just doing it for my dad, for my parents, right? Yeah. That this is a pleasure for them, right? And this is not really anything associated with me. But after some time, I think it was like third, fourth year, when I started getting into more of running a business and everything, that's when I was like, okay, I'm getting into more of the advanced level of business. There are a few things here that I'm learning, right, that it will improve my business itself, right? So I think it's also the mindset of how you take information in, the knowledge that you take in, right? Maybe you don't need to go out and pay for the courses, right? By all means, if that helps you, then by all means go for it. But look at the information that's already giving to you, right? It might save you a lot of time, it might save you a lot of money, right? And it might be a lot more of a quicker solution instead. So
yeah, no, I get what you're saying, man. When it comes to certain fields, like having a higher knowledge on certain aspect, it can, help you enhance in succeeding. But for example, like a business, I tell my cousin, I'm like, I had this notion of like, I wasted 4 years. But the truth of the factor is that I didn't give it my all. Now, what I mean by that is, there's actually so much stuff that colleges, universities actually provide that we don't utilize. Like workshops. When actual companies come down, they look at your resume. They're like, "This is some what the fuck is this?" Yeah. They look at this stuff. They help you. Yeah. I didn't utilize that. One of the university professors, he told me, he's like, Amrit, like, go sit on. I spoke to this on the last previous episodes, where go sit on non-for-profit board organizations. I encourage people that are interested in business, or they feel like, oh, that's something I want to go into. Go sit on non-for-profit organization. The jobs are posted always on public forums. Anything, you just search it up, is there. Now, what that does is, alongside your studies, it helps you understand the corporate level. Okay, so now there's a finance side. Oh, there's a person who's arranging of fundraisers. because like I was involved in Liberals board label. I was on the board. So now I saw the nitty gritty stuff. Oh, they're responsible for the fundraisers, the phone calling, the finance, the director. I saw the structure, but like, okay, I can gain knowledge from this. I can apply this if I were to ever start my own business. I can apply that on. And now going back to when I tell my cousins, I'm like, yo, I thought it was a waste of time because I didn't give it my all. Tell you the truth, I didn't. I'd be lying if I said I did. I was genuinely lost. I was just like, you know what, I'm doing this, as you said, like, because my dad and all my friends are fucking smart as hell, man. So that even put more pressure on me. A cousin, one of the most smartest person I know. And then, you know, and same thing with my sister, the smartest person I know. And then I'm looking at myself, damn, I'm like, I'm not good enough. So I gotta do this. There's no other way. Like, I enjoy running businesses. I love it. That's my passion. You know, so it just, the luck of the draw was I just took business because, you know, that's what I wanted to do with my life. But truth be told, I just had this notion of school's not good enough because I didn't give it my all. I didn't take advantage of everything that's presented to me. Schools actually help you with your public speaking. There's so many events that happen where you can actually sign up and go represent that school, university, whatever, in a major competitions. Imagine that, how big of a boost that is to yourself. You're presenting in front of thousands of your case studies and publicly speaking. That's going to improve you so much as overall individual, the growth. Even if you mess up, that's okay. It's not like they'll be like, yo, who is this bad? Like, you're not losing money or anything. It's not a monetary thing you're losing. You're just growing from that process, you know? So I encourage a lot of people to kind of dig deep down inside. Is it really that you hate school? Is it that you're not even trying? And that's what it is, man. A lot of people they're not trying. They're content with life, the stagnation. They're like, man, it is what it is. Every day is the same shit. There's no real purpose behind their journey. It's a journey to a meaningless door. You open it, they're like, oh, it's another door. You're sitting there all day, same shit over and over. You open another door. It's the same thing, man. So, you know, I really encourage people that say, you know, schools don't mean anything to dig down deep inside. Be like, did you really give it your all? Why do you even have this narrative? You know, people can make the notion of like, is it worth it? Okay, that is a valid question. Is me going for 4 years and then go and do my CPA, and if I don't have any money and being debt by the end of it, like $50,000, $60,000, is that worth it? That's a valid reason. You know, is there jobs around that? That's your responsibility of searching whether there's actually a market for it in your city. If not, then where can I venture out into different cities and stuff like that, right? So it's a valid question to each their own, but I think you grow a lot as a person as you're progressing through that system. So-called, we say like it's an endless mean to a lot of people. Yeah. But reality is not, man. Put your head down, get interacted with like the community at campus, at university. So much stuff goes on. Yeah. I was that one kid, be like, no, they're weird. Look what they're doing. I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie, man. I cast a judgment on them, but in reality, they were pushing themselves, getting out of comfort zone, and actually doing something. I was that one kid, be like, yo, they're clowns. But I was a real clown. You know, no, it's fact though, man. Like, we sit back and judge the question people that are going out of their comfort zone and actually doing things that they enjoy, but we clown them because we got nothing going in our life, but rather just look at other people's life and make fun of them. Yeah. You know, and that's what it boggles down to, is just the people that have that mindset that school doesn't have any real meaning to it. It's their own personal development is lacking. Yeah. And that's what it comes down to, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. I want to add to that is that not everyone's meant to start a business either.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You're not meant to be number one. Yeah. I'm being serious. Like, I've learned this, is that, you know what? Sometimes it's actually better to work for others.
Yeah, to be the number two.
To be the number two. And you can have a really good life. The people that work at Facebook and they're number 20, 30, they're not Zuck. Yeah. They're not Mark Zuckerberg. Yep. But they got millions of dollars in the bank. They're account. Chilling. Yep. They're all good. Right? Yeah. Microsoft, all the teams that are higher ups, they all work for the big man. You don't have to be Jeff Bezos. You don't have to be the Elon. You don't have to be the business owner. Guess what? The business owner takes all the risk.
True.
All the risk.
All the risk, man.
You are the person that it stops at. So guess what? When shit's hitting the fan, it comes down to you and your decisions. Right? The second or third person is going to go home at night. He's chilling. After 6 o'clock, he's good.
Yeah.
I got family. I got this. I got ball. Right? I'm good. Yeah. And, you won't know until you do it. I'm not saying don't be a business owner. Mm-hmm. Try it if it's for you and you can handle all that. Because there's a lot of pain that comes. There's a lot of pain and suffering that comes from that. Yeah. But there's also ways you can be extremely, extremely successful going to school, working for a company, and you'll have an amazing life.
Yep. Yeah.
In fact, probably better than some business owners, right? But the business owner takes all the risk. So if you're one of those guys who's high risk tolerance, is going to bet on themselves and really take
on the stress level.
Yeah. If you're going to make millions of dollars a year eventually, and you do that and you make it happen, all respect to you.
Yeah.
Right? But the number 2 or 3 that works for that business is also benefiting as well. So a lot of guys saying, I got to be the man. Yeah. I gotta start my own business. I gotta start something. It's gotta be me. I gotta be the guy to make the decisions.
That's true though.
Yeah. No, you don't. So sometimes you don't have to be, and that's okay. Humble yourself, bring yourself down a little bit, and say, "Are you that person for real?"
Yep.
Put yourself through it. Not everybody's the Gary Vee, bro. I'm sorry to tell you. Not everyone's Elon Musk. I'm sorry to tell you. That's gonna hurt the egos, bro. All the brown boys that are coming up. I'm sorry, bro. You might not be him, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can still be extremely successful. You can still have an amazing life by taking the traditional route. But there's also the non-traditional route. And if you want the non-traditional route, it's there for the taking. It's there for the taking. You can build yourself to that.
Yep.
But I know guys that are doing extremely well, and guess what? They're not in the limelight. They're not holding the business down. They don't make the major decisions. Maybe they're holding down a department. Maybe they're holding down a certain part of the business. Maybe they got stocks in that business.
Yeah.
But they're not number one. They can go to bed. They can go play ball. They can go chill with their family, and they're making, hundreds of thousands of dollars. They got a good life, man. So I don't know. There's that also flip side that I wanted to add.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Entrepreneur.
There
you go.
No, and that's the thing though too. And guess what? What do you need to be in that position? You need actual credentials. You can't be going to Amazon pulling up, but like, I'm good at this stuff. Okay, what have you done? Yeah. Like my friend, he works for Amazon. He's down in San Fran, makes good money.
Yeah.
He's living a lavish life out there. In the sunshine, he's better than Edmonton's weather. He's out in no, think about it though. He's making good money. Yeah. He's out in California. What more can you ask?
That's true.
So that's a dream right there.
It is. It is.
Have a nice white picket fence, a nice wife, you're good.
Life's good.
Nothing's wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong with that,
It's just like, what speaks to you again.
Yeah.
And whether you're able to take that tolerance of that stress level to go through that process of attaining a business. Are you really built for it? You're not going to just fold up, be like, man, I tried. No, you did not try. No. You folded at that first thing that distressed you. You're like, I can't do this shit. Your dad, I'm sorry. Hey, guess what? Now though, at least it's a learning process. If you do go through that process, it's not a knock on you. You just realize it's just not for you. Which is okay.
It's all good. You get some few chitters from your dad. You get into some teaching. No, but I would say like what you're kind of talking about is just online. It shows becoming a businessman and all that sort, But they don't. One thing they don't teach you, like if you actually look at how difficult it is to run a business, right? Especially like how much it impacts you emotionally too. Like you need to have you have to have a very thick skin with it. Because the thing is like, it's kind of going back to what the first business I ran through, I didn't have any experience at all. It's not like I had any mentor. I barely had any friends to really talk to about like, okay, what should I do if I'm facing a problem? It was literally taking a risk. I literally was like, okay, I'm going through this. I'm like, shit, I need this kind of money for R&D. I don't have that money. How the fuck am I gonna run this business?
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, but the thing is like, through those difficulties, I learned a lot, and I was able to pivot. And on top of that, I was able to learn a specific amount of skill sets, right? And this is something that's that's not shown online, right? How difficult it is. Like if you look at like Mark Zuckerberg, if you look at Alex Ramosi, you know, people just look at them how they are now presently, but they never really look at like their process, who they were at the beginning, how depressing their life looked like when they started, right? They just look at like what their lavish life they're living right now, right? They don't look at the amount of struggle, like, you know, how much impacted their relationship, how much impacted their social life, their mental state, right? They don't look at that stuff, right? Some of these guys they barely made money at all. They took loans, okay? They took a lot of risk. Even there was that one video of Alex Ramosi where I think he was talking to his partner, and he was literally waiting on this deal that was going to impact whether or not he was going to make it or break it. Literally told his wife that, hey, I don't know if this is going to work out. I completely understand if you leave me, right? Luckily enough, she was like a day one. So she was like there by his side all the time. But look at where he is now, right? It's a risk. It's dependent on what type of risk you want to take, especially in the entrepreneurship side. If you do want to take the route of intrapreneur, so you're working for a company stuff, don't feel bad about it, right? You educate it, you learn stuff, right? You're learning even more through a mentor or a boss or whatever, and you're working up within the company, right? So, I mean, that's my piece. So.
No. One thing I want to get you guys' point of view as well is, how do you guys feel like, how do we break down, like for the people that are watching, you know, we're saying this stuff, but like, how do we actually like break down that stigma of that first generation, like, which is us, like we're the one, like our parents came from nothing and coming here, and we're the one get the education and have a good life. How do we break that barrier of like, we want to promote ourselves, be like, hey dad, I don't want to take the traditional route of just going into business, science. You know, it's not easy to as you said, it's not easy for us to just be forthcoming of our dreams. It's not, because why? Because that's not the traditional route. It's not. Like, how do we find that balance that we can make it into, be like, okay, I don't know. It's just like, there's so many issues like when it comes to this subject, because like I get conflicted. You know, it's like, I know why our parents want us to get that education, but that I also like want to promote that individual side of ourselves, where promote that, you know, the critical thinking aspect, that creativeness, which just gets diminished, pushed under the rug. Because why? Because at the end of the day, as what Qashus said earlier, it provides financial stability, quote unquote, because they don't know. Mm-hmm. How do you think we break that barriers for kids that do struggle to bring it up to the parents, that they want to pursue something that's out of the ordinary from what's been, you know, made the norm? How do you go about that?
Well, I mean, it's tough at the end of the day to bring that up. At the end of the day, for me, I mean, going back to what I was saying before, is like, you know that they're gonna have an issue with it. They're going to have an issue with it if they're parents that are very traditional and conservative. So they're not going to understand the creative aspect. You know, when I was rapping in my basement, my cousins and my aunts and uncles thought, oh, he's the weirdo. They wouldn't say it.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't say it. They come over and like, oh, he's doing music.
That's the picture that's been
he's doing the YouTubes. He's doing the YouTubes. Oh, he's doing the YouTubes. Okay, right? Like, what is that? That's what they're like. What does that mean? What is that? They don't understand it. And so if your parents are willing to have a conversation with you, and you have enough ammo in terms of your
work ethic,
or even just that passion. If you're really hungry and say, look, Dad, I need 12 months. I need 12 months to figure my shit out. I mean, in my head, I gave myself 12 months. And it's a little easier when you can give them a deadline, because it's like, okay, maybe they'll be okay with it. Maybe they're okay with, 12 months. Okay, you don't know what you're going to do after uni. No problem. Some will, some won't.
No.
You know, but at the end of the day, you need to have a strong argument as to why you're doing what you're doing. And if you don't, a realistic plan, or even if it's unrealistic, there needs to be a little bit of a path to say, this is where I'm headed.
Well, that's
right?
True. Yeah.
Because they don't know what you're doing. My parents don't know what I'm doing. They think I'm running around with a camera in the city of Edmonton just doing something, recording shit randomly. That's what they think, until I took my dad to the office until I took my dad, say, look, this is where we film. This is what we do. This is for business clients. That sort of thing is breaking it down. And that's the hard thing. And let's just say your parents aren't like that. Let's just say your parents don't want to hear it. Then you got to show them something.
Yeah.
You can't just talk, because the talking is not working anymore. So
You gotta find
show
time.
them.
You gotta find
Then go
time.
work.
Yeah,
go work part-time. Go do the skip the dishes, bro. Go work at Pizza Hut, bro.
Whatever
And
it
then, man, when I worked at the agency, I worked 9 to 6. Right? 9 to 6 for the agency. Luckily, I'm doing videos. Okay, it's something I'm in. Let's just say it wasn't. Let's just say it was at Superstore. But 6 to 10, I was still sitting in my office working on Q Films.
Yeah.
I'm working on the shit that I have today. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, podcast. Sundays, I would go to the office on Sundays by myself, spend all day editing the videos for the podcast, talking to guests, sending emails, creating the brochures, creating the designs, going and searching up SEO hashtags and all that shit, watching Gary Vee in the middle of the day just to get my energy levels up. Right?
Yeah,
there's nothing there to show anything. I don't have anything to show my parents. But at that time that I'm spending, and then I come home and I hear it again, okay, I'm hearing it again.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing with this? What are you doing with this? What are you doing with this? Right? Hear that every day. Come home. What are you doing with this? What? Look at so and so. Oh, he just got a house. Oh, he just got this. Oh, he just ignore the noise. But you need to be bleeding out of your eyes, working, bro, towards that. You can't just be, bro, just watching Breaking Bad on Netflix and your dad comes home. What are you doing?
Watching it.
Right?
Yeah.
No, bro. No.
And it's a really good point what Qashus said as well. Man, humble your dreams. Now, what I mean by any means, what you have to do, skip the dish, working at Superstore, doing whatever, man, humble your dreams. Make that side income, whether you feel like it's fair or not. Nobody gives a fuck. We're not here to contemplate whether it's fair or not. Shit ain't fair. Welcome to the real world. Shit ain't fair. Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta take that 2-3 hours. Guess what? Like how Mukh said, he wants to develop something in his career. Guess what? He's taking that 2 hours out of his day, whether it's less sleep or whatever it may be. You gotta go for that cause. You can't say I want to sleep for 10 hours and I want this dream, but now my parents to get off my back. It's not realistic, man.
No.
That shit. No, I'm sorry. Miss me with that. Yeah. If you want to humble your dreams, go see what you have to do. If you gotta save up 10K by the time because you gotta get a car for whatever reason, you have to get a apartment for whatever reason. Work your ass off. Stop going to clubs, flashing shit that you damn well can't own. Yeah. In the long term, you can't sustain the lifestyle. Stop doing that. So it's like these people have this notion they want to live life, but not take the responsibility of what their dreams or purpose is, but rather deflect blame on our parents. It's just like, nah, man, they won't let us pursue. What have you done? Show me. If I looked at your resume, I haven't done fuck all. Real talk though. Yeah. And then now you want to seek sympathy. I don't know. You don't get that.
No.
Yeah, no. I like exactly what Amrit said. If you have only 2 to 3 hours in a day, make use of it. Yeah. You can do a lot in 2-3 hours. You can learn a lot too. It's just that it stacks up every freaking day. It needs to be consistency. No, you need to understand like how much you want it, and eventually you'll get there, right?
I want to add another thing too. Is if you're hungry, you're gonna find out.
Yeah,
you're gonna figure it out.
Yep.
When I was starting my business, I don't know anything shit about accounting. Yeah. Bro, and another thing too is that a lot of us don't utilize our network enough.
Nope.
We don't even utilize our friends enough, bro.
Nope.
I think people have said this in my circle that like I'm a master at like asking for favors.
Yeah.
The favors in the sense of like I'm not asking for handouts.
Yeah.
I'm asking for knowledge, bro. I'm asking for, hey, I'm looking for an account. Like for example, I have a homie that runs a really solid business. I'm asking him, hey, bro, do you have an accountant? Do you know a good accountant? I don't know my books. I don't even know where to start with my books.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start with financial statements. Do you have an accountant? Do you trust someone? Oh no, actually, I don't know. My mom does. Oh, can you get in touch with your mom? Can we get on a call? Is that all right? Like, is that cool? Yeah. You don't feel weird about it? Like, is that okay if I can reach out to your mom since your mom is a successful business owner? Mm-hmm. I'm sure somebody in our network, in the three of us sitting here, I'm sure somebody in our network has a dad that's killing it in business or killing it in a specific industry.
Yeah. True.
I guarantee you, but guess what? We don't ask that person. Why? Because like, I don't know, bro.
You know what it is? People hate that that mindset, hey, like I feel like I'm getting a handout. It's not a handout, man. It's not. How is it a handout? You attaining knowledge for someone that actually been through the process. You're not asking for them to be like, give me money, this, that. No, man. You just out here trying to improve your knowledge and get better at life. That's not a knock on life. It's not. It's not a knock. I don't know why people think it's like such a like, oh, I can't ask for him because he's this. Who cares?
Yeah.
As I said, humble your dreams, man. Who cares? Whether he's younger than you, that he's older than you, whether he's in a different field. I don't feel like there's any time, and I genuinely mean this, you can't attain knowledge from any conversation in a good environment, especially if it's like a right environment which you want to pursue. If you're just sitting in a circle talking about, oh, you see what Breaking Bad, this guy did, killed this dude. What the fuck? Yeah. Who gives a shit? It's a fucking show. Who cares? Surround yourself with people that you want to see yourself grow with, and then grow from there. Don't think you're a burden on anybody. If you do feel like that, just be upfront about it. Be like, hey man, like I don't want to bother you. I really don't, but like I'm struggling with this. Like, do you know? Like, learn how to present yourself, even if you do feel like I'm being a mooch or whatever it is. You're not. You just be like, hey, I don't want to bother you, but this is what I'm struggling with. Like, can you help? Or do you know anybody? Yeah. Even if it's you got to have to pay out of your pocket, so what?
Yeah, well, think about, I mean, we got a lot of hoopers out that watch the NBA, you know? Think about Kobe and MJ. Yeah. Kobe came as an 18-year-old kid in the league. Yeah. He went straight to the source, bro. He went to the greatest player on the planet, and he became the little brother to the greatest basketball player. Yeah. And guess what? Go watch the MJ interviews, bro. Go watch when he talks about Kobe. He says Kobe would call me at 2:30, at 3 o'clock in the morning, asking about some footwork thing. Yeah. No, it's true. Savage, bro. Savage.
That's a sign of greatness. That's a sign of greatness.
That's what it is, man. That to me, if it's like Kobe, one of the, if not the greatest, but I love Kobe. Yeah. That guy, he's one of the top. He was one of the top in the league, one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and he's calling people at 2:30 in the morning asking for advice. Mm-hmm. Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?
It's that mindset.
MJ was like shaking his head. People are laughing.
What's wrong with you?
But he was happy to help. He went straight to the person that has done it, has at the mountain, bro. And we haven't even done that, bro. No. I guarantee you, if you're 19, 20, 25 years old, I guarantee you haven't went in Edmonton or even in your contacts to just ask someone, hey, I'm searching for this. I'm looking for this. Can you give me a piece of advice on this specific topic?
Way too afraid.
9 times out of 10, that person's going to help you because they're 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 steps ahead of you. Yeah. They're willing to give you that advice. You have to be the one to go pursue it. You have to humble yourself and say, hey, man, like, I don't know this, but I would love to take you out for a quick coffee. I just want to know that. I just want to talk to you about business.
100%.
Dude, they'd be happy to help, bro. Yeah. You have to pursue that.
Yeah. And then for the people that feel like you don't get that same answer that you're looking for or they're not willing to help, and who cares? You don't want that anyways. Why do you want to surround yourself with people that have their own ego deflated to a point where like, hey, I'm the shit. Well, okay, keep being the shit. Yeah. You're a homo all alone. You don't have nothing around you. You know, camaraderie is built in a culture by how can I impact other people's life. That's what a real sense of purpose for me, at least, what I feel like I get more joy out of. If my cousin said, be like, yo, like Amrit, like I'm struggling with this. Like, what do you think of this? Man, I see joy in that. Mm. And if I can help him in any way I can, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, no, it's true.
You know?
Facts.
No. The one thing I thought about right now, too, is kind of resorting to one of the episodes previously that we talked about brotherhood.
Yeah.
Friend circle. We're at a point right now, like, you know, where, you know, we don't have like millions of dollars and stuff, but we're at a point where you have a specific amount of network where each person is very, in a sense, excelled in a specific type of skill sets.
Yeah.
Right? The thing is like kind of backing up on one of you guys' points is like you guys have somebody in your network that you can reach out to if you're in a problem, right? If you're something that you're not knowledgeable in, you have somebody out there within, and that too within your friend circle too. The one thing about brotherhood is that if you notice is a brotherhood is a type of men who help each other out, they uplift each other. If there's something that Amrit knows, right, that Amrit has excelled in, and that I don't know shit in, I'll reach out to him. If it's something that he's an expert in, and that something is a type of service that he's providing, and I need assistance in, and it help my business, I will pay Amrit specifically. And that too, just because he's a brother.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a respect
I don't need to
thing.
go to anywhere else. I already know someone that I can trust, that I know well enough that he's really good at his job, right? And if I can pay him, right, helps his business. On top of that, it also helps my business because I'm finding a solution for that. Then there's no loss in that.
Yeah.
And it's in vice versa too, right? If somebody's good at marketing, right, and I have a good friend that's good at marketing, I'll reach out to him. If he needs my help in some sort of like sports consultation, whatever it may be, right, he reaches out to me. He would be more than welcome to pay for my services, knowing that it helps me out, but in regards, it also helps him out because he can trust me for the issues that he's facing.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the thing though. I feel like tying it back to the whole, the main point you want to talk about is like whether school's, worth it, whether it's not. The whole process just becomes that much harder because we haven't attained that knowledge that we can, it comes at a cost, but what doesn't in life? Everything has a cost associated with it. It's just, the degree of it, $1,000, $2,000, $20, $10. What do you place most importance on, And, some people can get more knowledge out of something that's $100 a month course compared to a $1,000 university course. Yeah, that may be true. But again, it comes down to understanding you have to attain that knowledge. And it only comes from a system that's been proven to, yes, can it suppress sometimes like, the critical thinker, the creative minds? But I don't think so. I think we're at a point where like there's so much creative space when it comes to colleges and universities. They promote all this stuff, man. Artists, digital marketing, like that's the thing. You can take that in schools. That's not suppressing them. That's not creating slaves. Like as quote, that's one thing. Creating schools are creating slaves. Like stop with this notion and like this rhetoric of listening to these people that are sitting on their laptops or whatever at home. They're feeding off that energy. They're seeing it. They're like, oh shit. They're like, yeah, rebellious against schools. Fuck school. They're creating slaves. Like if that was so, trust me, we'll be this society be in shambles. I could not put a sentence together if that was the case. I'll be ESL for life. No, I'm serious though. Like people gotta understand. It's just it's like a whole circle. We gotta start from somewhere. Stop having this negative notion about, hey, like school's not for me. Okay, if it's not for you, then what is it? What speaks to you? Pursue it. Attain the knowledge that needs to be, whether it's taking a course or two at school. Do it by any means. Don't just go out right off the bat, be like, oh, Andrew said, fuck school, come to, what is that, Hustle University? Hustle. Like, this is how you gain that optimal entrepreneurship, how you gotta make money. Hell no. That's how he makes money off of you. The person who's paying for it.
For sure.
If the $100 a month, 1,000 people signed up, hey, that's 100,000 for him a month.
Yeah.
Take that 100,000. He created a business model knowing that your dumbass is gonna fall for that. Sorry to say, I'm not. It's a fact. It's a fact of reality.
It's a business at the end of the day. And let's get into our sponsors, the University of Alberta. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. We got no sponsors. No, school isn't sponsoring this podcast. But adding to that, I just want to quickly add that a school, of course, is important, but I think from even a creative standpoint, there are certain areas where you can flex your creativity. But it's not, you're busy with your classes, so
it's not as prevalent.
It's exactly. You're not like an artist where you can just paint whatever you want to paint. Whereas with business, you can flex that create. You can be creative in your sales. You can create, your marketing. You can create that Facebook page. You can whatever that is. And so if you're going to school and you want to flex, you want to be creative. Be creative, bro.
Yeah.
Build that business, bro. I was running around with a camera, man. I was thinking about how my first wedding experience, shooting a wedding. Okay, I've never shot a wedding before, so I'm like, how do I get a wedding client without the risk? Yeah. How do you do that? Not just like doing it for free. That's easy. Yeah. Like, of course, I'm not going to charge them. But what couple wants an amateur videographer
to film the whole wedding?
To film their whole wedding.
Yeah.
Even if it's free. They're probably going to be bad anyway. And they know that. Yeah. Bro, I did so much research. But anyway, what I did was, for my own sake, because I was uncomfortable, I brought 4 of my homies. to the venue.
Just cross the wedding.
I told them, I'm like, hey, bro, I need you guys to like come through, and I just need you to be like, the venue was close to White Ave.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, just come through for like half an hour. I'm fucking nervous, bro. I might ruin this.
Some familiar faces. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was nervous, bro. I was like, yo, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm probably going to butcher this video. But I told them, they pulled up. Moral support, bro. And they like came, and they came and they sat for a little bit. I was just like, oh, these guys are my assistants, bro. They're helping me bring the equipment
up and everything.
Yeah. So they came, they helped me, they brought the equipment in, and then they were like, all right, good, you good? Like nerves, whatever. I'm like, it's good. I'm probably gonna butcher this video anyways. Yeah. So I mean, as you talked about brotherhood, I was lucky to have those 3 guys to be like, yeah, we'll pull up.
Yeah,
why not? We'll just come out and then we'll go to White Ave and just hang out there. I was like, okay, cool. You guys do your thing. I'm gonna shoot this wedding. And that video I butchered, but it was no good. But at the end of the day, I did anything and everything to get myself in that position. I was so uncomfortable, bro. But once I got through it, I was like, okay, it's not as bad. Okay, let me try this again. So, at the end of the day, I think, going back to the whole school situation, it varies from individual to individual, but I think, be creative, start that business, do your thing, and reach out to find older brothers. That's what I would say. Find guys that are a few years older than you. Find guys that are, if you're 20, find someone who's 25, 26, 27. They're 5 years ahead of you. Yeah. Find that business owner. I guarantee you, Amrit, I guarantee you there's a Mukh. Yeah. There's a Qashus out there that's happy to help you, bro. Yeah. That is looking for that. Yep. To take, because guess what? That gives them that much. What you're getting, they're giving them fulfillment as well at the same time.
It does. So. Yeah, no, man. I agree with you 100%. I think people need to stop just having that notion of like, man, school is shit, my life's miserable. Stop foregoing that cost of causing yourself mental stress, going on pointless debts, man. Stop that. It's not healthy lifestyle. To understand, like, there's always gonna be a light at the end of the tunnel, regardless of what it is. You're gonna fall down tomorrow. Hey, get up the day after. If you fall again, get up again. That's life. We're not here to don't try to dispel a character that you can't uphold throughout your day of life. Yeah. Day in, day out. If you can't do that, don't try to dispel it. Who cares? Who you are is who you are. You are your own greatest marketing material. The way you carry yourself, the words you utter out of your mouth, how you present yourself, and that's what it is. So my message, to the people out there that think that, that school is just a scam, it builds a slave. Yeah, that's fine to have that, but at least go through that process and know that, that's not what it's about. Stop listening to these online gurus that everybody be presenting to, and try it yourself. And if it's not for you, then you can actually see it. Be like, I did it. It wasn't for me. That is fine. Don't just have that notion right off the bat. And
yeah, man. If it's not for you, you just sign up for MBM University.
Yeah,
the link is in the bio.
It's in the bio. It's like starts at $10 a month.
It starts at 10.
It's nice and cheap.
Yeah, free trial, 14-day trial. MBM University.
It's on. It's another 10%.
Straight up.
But I think with the education system, like, just keep an open mind. I think you just need to be able to try things out, right? The education system is going to be there. It's going to be there to support you. Right, you're going to have the resources, the information to provide for you. Yeah. But I think you should take your own steps in experimenting with other things as well. For myself, Cash talked about dropshipping, so I did do dropshipping for a month or two. But the main purpose for dropshipping was not to make money. I just never learned about SEOs before, right? So for me, it was like, okay, how do these hashtags work? And I was like, okay, I can do drop shipping. Shopify had this promo going on. It was like $1 per month. So I was like, this is cheap. So tried it out, and I was like, okay, I learned a lot of stuff. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna drop out of this drop shipping thing before I get bashed on it. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, you gotta experiment a lot of things. Even if it's just a small step, a small thing, it can be so beneficial. It can impact so much in your growth. In, let's say, for business you have, it can impact so much with it, right? And it's just how you take information, take knowledge, if there's something that you can benefit off of what you're learning in university and it's going to help you out with your business, by all means, keep it. But the main purpose behind this is keep an open mind, learn what is given to you, and take it how you like. So, but I think. I
mean, it's a flawed system. It's not broken. It's not broken though. People can't say be like it's broken and you don't get nothing out of it. No, that's false. So, that's just the part of life, man. Everything is you get what you want.
Yeah.
It's all money everywhere. It's dollar signs everywhere you could look. I don't care.
Yeah.
We need money, you need money, everybody needs money. At the end of the day, we're all flawed. The system is flawed to a certain extent, but it's not broken, man. It's not broken. No, it is flawed, like in a lot of ways, the government, but it's not broken, man. So stop having this notion and sign up for our courses. Now we don't have no course.
Cash's University coming soon. Let's tell you right now, link in bio. Go check it out, bro.
And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. A lot of you guys have still haven't subscribed, like, and all that stuff. And thank you guys. We're getting a lot of love and feedback, so appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
Before we end this, we got a guest, yo. Plug in your stuff, man. Let us let the audience know what you're
for sure. So if anyone wants to connect, you can find me at Qashus, is Qashus. If you want to check out the production company, is at Q Films with a Z Media. I also run a podcast called Second Floor. It's at 2ND Floor Podcast with Kenny Buller. And we just gotta stay real. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on. And
thank you, man.
I enjoyed this conversation. So,
big things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.